on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
All righty. Let's go live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I think that's where Byron's at today. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. Brought to you by the Sportscast. Today is December 19th, 2024. Approaching the holidays. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Sportscast on all your channels, YouTube, X, Spotify, iTunes. Also, join us on your favorite podcasting streaming service. Please leave a rating and a review. It'll help us out tremendously. Hit the notification bar. And if you like what you're seeing today, smash the like button on YouTube. We are streaming live every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. And let's get ready to start the show. Mr. Byron Jones, welcome, man. How you doing today? Where are you? I know you're not home.
Atlantic City again.
In AC, man. You guys love that place, man.
It's like 50 degrees down here.
It's warmer than it was last week.
A lot warmer.
A lot warmer. Yeah.
A lot warmer.
I just got back from Columbia. It was last week. And I wanted to ask you a question. So I didn't realize the altitude in Columbia was so high. And when you played at Denver, or when you, because I've gone to skiing and stuff, I didn't recognize. Did it affect your sleep? Because I didn't sleep well, man.
We played at when I was in college. We played at BYU in Provo, and the altitude is like that there. Yeah, we didn't sleep. I didn't sleep well at all. Like none of us did.
I mean, I'm like, I think I slept 3 hours a day. In there, Kevin, I see you in agreement. We're going to bring Kevin, one of our Miami Dolphin fans, and our regular guest host. We're coming in a little bit. Yeah, man, I slept terrible. Let me tell you. So I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So let's welcome to a show, super Dolphin fan, Mr. Kevin Tyre. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, Kevin.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I was in the middle of a meeting, so I had to pull over and get on with the car on the cell phone. So
I saw you on the show. I didn't see and then you came out. Okay, so you're ready to go, right? Are you going back to your meeting?
Yeah. No, I'm in between. I'm between right now. I got about 30 minutes.
You got about 30 minutes. All right, we'll get into the show in a little bit. Okay, so I was telling Byron that I was in Columbia and I realized there was high altitude. I had a rough time sleeping all week. I mean, it was exhausting. Everybody else seemed to sleep well, but I always have a bad time sleeping to begin with. So, all right, let's get it on. All right, so let's start with the show. Kevin's got 30 minutes, so we're gonna get to Dolphins a little bit, but let's go over to the big stuff that's happening here.
Okay.
I guess Drew Lock is healthy because they're talking about Mr. Cutlets taking him out, putting Drew Lock, but Drew Lock got hurt. That's the only reason I think they took him back out. No, they're not rotating quarterbacks each week, are they?
Yeah. No. They should. What's the difference?
I'm just thinking that it doesn't really matter. I was going to bring a couple of Giant stuff going on. They're getting closer to the running for that number one pick. And there's rumor in the street that Malik Neighbors is politicking for Shedeur Sanders. What do you think about that, Kevin? Shedeur Sanders to the Giants, and he seems to want to go to the Raiders.
Well, who's it? Well, I guess it's the Raiders and the Giants are neck and neck, right, for the number one spot.
Yep.
So it wouldn't take much for them to flop. If let's say the Giants are number one and Raiders are number two, it wouldn't take much to, if Shedeur Sanders wanted to go to the Raiders, it wouldn't take much for them to, accommodate, give him a 5th round pick or something like that, and then switch spots.
Yeah, that's a good thought. That's a thought, right? They can trade Raiders can trade up for him, or the Giants could do what the other teams do, usually pick him and then make the trade.
Yeah. Well, he's going to do what his dad wants. He's going to go where his dad wants him to go. That's the way that's going to go.
Do you think that's a good place for him to go? Because we've been talking about that for the several weeks, and I personally don't think it's a good place for Shedeur Sanders to go.
The Giants, that's a lot of pressure.
No, I'm talking about the Raiders, going to the Raiders.
I don't think either one is a good spot playing wise, but he would have less, I think, scrutiny in Las Vegas and New York. That's a tough spot.
Yeah, but he's prime time's kid. I think they can handle the thing. My biggest thing is that, like, why would you? Again, I'm going to be a broken record. Why would you, with all due respect to Shedeur Sanders, who's got talent and stuff, he's not your prototypical quarterback. Why are you going to go in a division when you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Justin Herbert, now you got Bo Nix? Like, it's too many quarterbacks in the conference to compete against. I mean, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I don't.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
people think that he has a choice, to go. That is his choice. Remember years ago when Eli, the whole trade, and how much the Giants had to give up to get this guy. They had what 2 number ones or 3 or whatever it was, and a second round pick, and you figure even if it's the Raiders picking behind him, they're still gonna have to give him a whole bunch of stuff to move up like that. So it's not like it's like the Eli thing where
You're saying the Raiders have to do that?
Yeah, if the Raiders finish behind the Giants, and if they want him that bad, they're going to have to give away the farm to move, for the Giants to move down, because you don't know if the Giants want to pick him as well. So I ain't gonna just give him away. We'll take a 5th round pick from you guys, and you no. I want a couple ones, next year's one, 26,
Right.
25, 26 ones. I want some 2s. Throw me a player in there. I'm not going to just give them away.
Interesting. Hey, come to think of it, though, what do you guys think about today's market? If you're a number 1 draft pick, right, you're on the rookie contract for what, 4 years, Byron?
5.
It's a 5-year rookie contract.
5 for a number 1. The team has an option on that 5th year, I think.
Okay, so you got a 5 years. You're 5 years away, and the team has to think about this. You're 5 years away from having to pay that person, anywhere from the $30 to $50 million. I mean,
that's in today's market.
In today's market, I'm just saying to you that it's got to be a dilemma for teams trying to look down the future, right? Because that's a lot of money, right? And you're picking a quarterback, and you're like, look at JJ McCarthy, right? What's happening in Minnesota? That contract's coming down the line. I just would think, how does that affect the team, Byron? I mean, because it's one thing from a rookie contract, but now the market is so high, right? One, the kid has a great opportunity to get paid really early. And then 2, I mean, teams, how's it going to affect the negotiating for contracts for guys coming off the rookie contract if they're performing?
Well, you think, okay, let's prime example, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, the 49ers have been playing with house money for about 2-3 years now with him. He's been in the $800,000-$900,000, a year range, which is not enough to live in San Francisco. But anyway,
it's a running
now
joke,
he's
Kevin.
looking at now what is he looking at? Is he going to get between $55 to $58 million a year? And like you figure with the 49ers, they got all their big guys, locked up. Nick Bosa, George Kittle, Ayuk, McCaffrey. They got all those guys, pretty much tied up. And the reason why is because they had this guy on that rookie deal. Well, kind of sort of like a rookie deal. They were able to afford all the stuff.
Worse than a rookie deal.
Once they have to start, pay Brock Purdy between 55 and 58 million, all them other big time contracts, they ain't going to be able to do what they've been doing the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, the quarterback position is hog tying the whole team situation. I know the contract. I know the TV money's going up, and they're making, but it's still a chunk of that. I think maybe 60 or 70% of the money goes to like 5 or 6 players.
Well, right now the Dallas Cowboys has over 50% to 2 players, CeeDee Lamb and Dak, man, over 50%, right? That's really high. It's like 57% or something like that, right, Byron? That's just 2 guys. So look, Dallas is the highest valued team in the NFL. So even with all their money, it's killing their cap space. right? So
Well,
they're
no,
gonna have to.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the value of the franchise. Everyone has the same.
No, you made the comment with the new contract
cap
deal. I'm
space.
saying they're all making money. Like the Cowboys are
Right.
making tons of money. You mentioned the contract deal. I'm saying even with these guys making money and they're the most valued team and they're making $1 billion in revenue per year, they got still over 50% of their cap tied up in
crazy.
two
That's
players.
crazy, man.
Two players. There's 53 players. So you got 51 more players to pay.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. They got Micah Parsons coming up. What are you going to give him? Or Trayvon Diggs?
Diggs. You got that Diggs, Stephon.
You got those two guys.
Trayvon Diggs, yeah.
Oh, Stephon.
Yeah.
Trayvon, the other one.
Trayvon, you were right, Trayvon. No, I mean, this is a lot of things to talk about. I mean, I think Brock Purdy's going to pay it. With all due respect to the kid, I like him. You know that, Byron. I don't think he's worth paying him $50 million, man.
I mean, what are you going to do?
I get it. I'm just saying to you, man, look at, they're not doing that well right now. They were there hot. He was doing a good job. He's not a system quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback for that team. I think you stick with him. I just don't think he's worth $50 million, man.
It's the market, man. It's the market.
So he's more
like
his is going to be more than 50.
You think?
Yeah, he's going to be around. He's going to be close to 60. 57, 58.
How do they justify that when he's not even in the top? How do you rank him? He's not in the top 5 quarterbacks. You think he's in the top 10?
Dak Prescott. The market is set at 60.
Dak Prescott's up there, though. Prescott's been putting up numbers for years, though.
Yeah. No, but
right?
the market.
And he's coming off of like a 30. Wasn't Patrick Prescott's contract before that $30 million? I mean, so he's coming off a big contract. You're taking a guy that's coming off on $1 million contract.
But that was
$50 million, and that's 50x.
But that was the market then.
Yeah, but look,
Dak set the Prescott. Yeah. Dak Prescott just set the market at 60. That's it. That's it. The next it'll be 70. It'll be 80.
I think it's gonna. That's why we're gonna start paying for streaming services. You know that, right?
I know, right? It's crazy.
I mean, that's why we have to pay for Peacock. We're gonna have to pay for Prime. You have to pay. I said it one day, man. I'm scared the Super Bowl is gonna be on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming.
And that's sad.
But you know what? We'll pay it. We will pay it. They know it, and they know it. We will pay it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kevin's here. Let's get into some of him because he's got to go in a little bit. Kevin, let's talk about the Dolphin game this weekend. Dolphin game. I was disappointed because, and I'm not going to put this on Tua because, in my opinion, Tua's been lighting it up since he came back from that crazy injury. He's been averaging over 20-something points and so forth. So this weekend he just didn't. I just think there was a couple games you guys should have won. You could have beat Buffalo. Like the team's letting them down. This kid comes off a tough injury. I'm not gonna put this on Tua, like I said, because he's been putting up the points. What are your thoughts about this game? I was pretty disappointed on the offensive production, and they only scored the Texans only scored 20.
I'm very disappointed with actually the defense, man. This defense coordinator is one of those bend don't break, and the guys are running up down the field all day, up and down the field. And then they made a lot of big mistakes when they do get someone off the field. They make a stupid penalty, Mm-hmm. So overall, offense, they're missing assignments. We had some injuries on the offensive line. Terrell Armstead, he needs to just sit on down and just retire. And I don't. I'm highly disappointed in the team, but I'm a diehard, so I'd rather die.
Because Tua threw 3 interceptions.
3, and he was responsible for 4 turnovers because he got that strip sack.
Yeah, I mean, but since he's been back though, I mean, he's been putting up some serious numbers. I mean, prior to this game, he's only had 1 interception, so he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 games straight without an interception. With 1 interception, he put up 2, 3. Well, no, I don't want to count that. Let's count this one. Do you play this game? He put up 1, 3, 4, 8, 10. He was he was 12 touchdowns with 1 interception. I mean, he was playing extremely well. This game, he just played really bad.
He was lighting it up.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Byron, you got to right. What were you? I wasn't expecting Tua to play this well coming back from that injury. Were you?
No, well, he has a bunch of great receivers and a tight end. So you figure, once he got over, him being injured, yeah, he was capable of it. Just the whole, like we've been saying 1,000 times, just him getting hurt all the time. That's what Jack, just doesn't put him with the the top 5, because every time he turn around, concussion. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. Knock on wood. But he could be in the conversation. Just his injury history.
Yeah. Well, this was, to put up only 12 points, because they're an offensive weapon, that team. Put up only 12 points and lose to a team of 20. That's not even 3 touchdowns. That's kind of got to be disheartening for you guys, because even with what was happening, you guys were kind of on the brink of possibly getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, because two of those interceptions were in the red zone, so those could have been field goals. Yeah, it was a rough game to watch. I tell you that.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Let's see what you guys have in the house. So what do you guys think for down the rest of the year? What do you guys, what would be successful for you down the line?
3-0.
The next 3 games, 3-0.
Yeah, I know this. Come on, I'm realistic. I know they have like a very low chance of making the playoffs, but
until they lost,
they have to finish strong. But that's the thing. We have both our last 2 games on the road, Cleveland and the Jets. You know how we do in cold weather, so
right.
I think this is McDaniel's job.
What's that? 49ers? No yeah. Well, 49ers aren't playing that well.
They got the 49ers, the Browns, and they got the train wreck Jets the last game. Yeah, might as well.
So you see a 3-0 too? You see a 3-0? You see a 3-0?
I mean, the 49ers are always tough, but you have this opportunity. I think you do have the opportunity, though. And look, the AFC. I mean, the AFC West. I mean, the AFC East is bad. I didn't think it would be this bad. I mean, if you guys win 3 straight, you'll be 9-8, and you're in still second place.
Yeah, because the Browns went to they got rid of, well, not get rid of, but Jameis is not the starter. They went to the backup for the for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. I guess all the pick sixes, man. I guess the coach couldn't take it anymore, and interceptions and fumbles, just being Jameis.
His numbers are too much. His offensive production is astronomical, but his production for the other team is also astronomical. I felt bad for the guy after one. I mean, I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago where, he was just, he was upset. He goes, "I'm better than that." I mean, these interceptions, and I'm like, and I felt bad, but in my mind, I was saying, son, you're not better than that. I mean, history proves that. You went 30-30 in a year. You went 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Like, something is in you that you can't escape. Like, there's gunslingers, and then there's bad gunslingers. You know what I mean?
He's a bad gunslinger.
He's a bad gunslinger. There's other gunslingers. Brett Favre, you could call Josh Allen, all those guys that would, would throw that ball wherever. They didn't have so many interceptions. And then he must have a record for pick sixes, too.
No, I'm sure it's other people worse.
Yeah, so I feel bad for that because he comes in and produces. Something I thought about, he was saying, and I know we're getting off the subject, he was saying that, he goes, they should have started Jameson earlier. Somebody had said that, and they would have been done better. I don't think so. I mean, he's I feel bad for the guy, to be honest with you. And they're benching him. I guess he can't handle that. That's too much on the team, on the defense.
Then the Dolphins play the Jets.
Make a lot of money.
Then the Dolphins play the Jets at the end of the season. One of Woody Johnson's kids will probably be coaching the team by then.
Oh, because they're getting rid of something. Santiago sent me a post that the Johnson didn't want to pick a player because his rating in Madden. What a way to
he got that. He got that from his kids. Because his teenage kids are sitting in the room.
This guy's got teenage kids?
Yeah, Woody Johnson.
Is he an all the way idiot?
Oh, without a doubt, he's all the way idiot now.
I feel bad now. I feel bad for Jet fans. I mean, this is just terrible. All right. So Kevin, what do you got? Anything coming up on the Dolphins? I want to bring up a little bit of Dolphin talk for you. Show you a little bit of love because we're gonna get right into some of the other pieces of the NFC and then go from there.
I just finished out these 3 games and I don't know. I think I don't know what they're gonna do. Tell you the truth, because you got all the talent in the world on offense. I don't like that defense coordinator because he's like, bend but don't break type of deal. No blitzing. No aggression. So, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if McDaniels, if they don't win these last 3 games, I think, and let's say they go up and lay an egg in Cleveland and New York, cold weather, whatever. I think that might be a coaching change.
Well, that would be
who's
sad
better than him? Nah, I don't think. Who would they
get
that's better than he is?
I think they got to give him another year. I mean, I think he's done a hell of a job with the offense. You guys have been plagued with injuries, and just the sad part is you got an opening because usually the AFC East is you have two teams vying for the conference, right? This year there's not even anyone challenging the Bills. Close. You know what I mean? So I think they'll give him.
That killed us, man. When Tua got hurt at the beginning of the year because. I think he got hurt in the second game of the season, and then it was like some games to where we just lost. We couldn't score 10 points.
No,
and lose by 3. That type of thing.
Well, he came right in and started putting up 27 points, and you guys still lost. I mean, you could have been the Bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But something we'll see what happens. I don't think Daniels shouldn't get fired, but I mean, he's got to get another year. But they got to do something. Right, because you got a lot of players. You're paying some people money. Yeah.
Kevin, did you hear anything about this tweet that Tyree Hill put out?
No, what happened?
It's saying saying it's time for the coach to go.
No.
Like a couple days ago.
No.
Yeah.
Nah, I probably
wasn't sure to make it a post. It's time for me to go, coach. He's talking about getting him that he wants to be traded. I guess after the end of the season, Tyree.
It's time for him.
Time for me to go, coach. Yeah, that's the tweet exactly. It's time for me to go, coach.
It might be time for him to go.
Out there.
It might be time for him to go.
You think that's real though?
Yeah, maybe if he tweeted it.
It might be time for him to go because it's speed.
Oh yeah, he said he had a cryptic coach explaining the tweet about the coaching that went viral.
Okay.
Time to go, coach.
If he'd have stayed with the Kansas City Chiefs, he would have had 2 more Super Bowls by now. But he was determined to get out of there and get his bag of money. He's like, how old? He's got to be at least 30 or close to it.
He would have got paid at Kansas City too.
Yeah. How old is he, Tyree Hill? He's got to be at least 30 years old by now.
29, 30, somewhere around there.
I'll tell you his age right now. Hold on.
That'd be for a minute.
30.
So sometimes, he might be, that's a little old there receivers there. We're in the wrong side. We 30. We get ready to get past that 30, and
trying to get that last number, trying to get that last big contract.
Let's get out the Dolphins. It's a little bit more. All right, let's go. Giants, Ravens, which was just terrible. But Lamar Jackson put up 5 touchdowns. They had over 400 total yards versus the Giants 236. He had 5 touchdown passes. I mean, Lamar Jackson just lit them up. I mean, Henry only touched the ball 14 times, ran for 67 yards. Lamar ran for 65 yards. So he had 5 touchdowns, ran for 65 yards. I mean, they pretty much just dismantled the Giants. I mean, that was like a tune-up game. Made Lamar good. There's nothing to say there. I mean, just the Giants are just bad. I don't know what they're doing. I truly believe they're tanking as much as they possibly can. All right, let's get out of there. But they're turning to Drew Lock against the Falcons. So here's the funny part:
don't forget we had Boyle was the other quarterback. He's the one that he played pretty good. He wasn't that bad, but
I give him a shot.
Well, you figure on a third quarterback, so it is what it is. You want to play quarterback? Kevin, you want to play quarterback? I'll go up there and play quarterback. Give me one of those checks. I'll do it. I'll stand back there.
I surely will.
I'll take the 1 week check. I'll be happy.
I surely will. I slide and hey, and that'd be it for me.
Exactly.
Check out already deposited. I'm good.
So let's get through the NFC East because there's a lot to talk about with the Falcons. I don't want to get off too much off of what we normally do. But the Commanders, they were winning convincingly, and then all of a sudden the Saints came back. You think the Commanders are sliding back, Byron? I mean, because to win against the Chiefs by 1 point, I mean, that's like a couple games this year that they won by fluke games. They were looking pretty good going to this game, and I was pretty confident how they're going to look going against the Eagles. But I wasn't impressed with this win. What are your thoughts, Byron?
Well, you figure, like we talked about last week, the kid was hurt, for a couple, 2-3 weeks, whatever it was. And then, he played pretty well. And, and maybe he's gotten like his second win now where, he'll start, playing like he did at the beginning of the season. The Saints are a mess. The quarterback got hurt and they went to a rookie dude. And then, now they're going to Shane, Rattler, the kid from South Carolina. The Saints are a mess, just kind of like the Giants. But, it's the NFL. A win is a win, and regardless if it's 1 point or if it's 40 points. So the Commanders, I think they're going to be just fine.
Kevin?
Well, rookie quarterbacks most of the time when they come out blazing like that, defense coordinators haven't had a chance to scheme on them. Mm-hmm. And later on in the season, they start throwing stuff at them and confuse them and stuff like that. But I think the kid is starting to figure that out. So I think they're gonna be fine. They'll be fine.
Well, I mean, he did. He threw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He counted for almost 300 yards because he threw for 226, ran for 66. I just wanted to see them going in strong against Philly. I want to see a good game. Right. I think Philly's starting to pick up their game, and they've been playing well for several weeks. And I was really disappointed on that win by 1 point. They were winning handily, but they better tighten up that defense. All right, let's go. Not much to say. I didn't even get into this game too much. The Cowboys and Panthers. Panthers are a wreck. The Cowboys up there, up and down. Anything happened on this game, Byron, that you thought was worth mentioning?
No, not really. It's the Cowboys, but Mark, our boy Mark Harilik, I'm sure, he's probably listening. He ain't called it all year, since the Cowboys have been a train wreck. So yes, I'm gonna see pride in him every now and then, so he'll pop up. But yes, the Cowboys, they beat up on a bad, Panthers team, and it is what it is. How about them boys? Yeah, how about them boys? They stink like the Giants.
Exactly. Well, they're 6-8, so I mean, this they can figure out they could salvage a winning season. We'll see what happens, but I think they play Philly again, don't they? Anyhow, I'm not really too big on what's happening, and nothing great news. Beating the Panthers is not impressive. This is the game that I was expecting to be a lot better than it was. This was disappointing because the Steelers were running high. They had 3 offensive yards in the first half, Byron. And if it wasn't for them getting turnovers, they would have had a problem. And then there's a concern with the Eagles giving up so many turnovers. But I'll tell you one thing, AJ Brown, I guess, made his point because they were targeting him quite a bit. He had a couple touchdowns. I mean, I guess the squeaky wheel does get the grease. What do you think about this game? Because it wasn't a pretty game.
Nah, it was kind of ugly. I guess they wanted to prove the point that that Jalen could pass the ball because Barkley he ran for what I got here 65 yards and he ran for 45 in the game. Well, but yes, they targeted their guys, and we've been talking about them too all the time. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith had like 11 catches.
That was the week before we mentioned that, right?
Yeah. Yep. And guess what happened? He went ablazing, throwing to his guys finally.
Well, they had 401 total yards of offense. That's impressive. 270 was passing, but there was a point. And again, Kevin, I want to get your points. I don't know if your opinion. I don't know if you saw that game. There was a point though for me, Byron, that they were like passing too much, that they kept the game close. You know what I mean? Like there was turnovers. There's things that were just happening that I thought they were running. And I wanted to see them to give the ball to Barkley. If you could have him in the game, give the ball to Barkley. What do you thought about that game, Kevin? I was disappointed. I thought it would be a better game than it was.
I didn't really watch that game, but those two teams. Sometimes you got to win like that. You got to sometimes you're gonna have games like that. And now both of those teams have good defenses. And you know, the Steelers, I don't think their offense is that all that, but that defense is
Yeah,
lights out.
the defense already had the turnovers. Defense did what they had to do. The score isn't reflective of what the defense did. But the offense literally had 3 yards in the first half.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was terrible. The only reason they had points is because of turnovers. They had a turnover on I think a kick return, and they had a turnover on a fumble. They had several fumbles.
And the Eagles,
you gotta win ugly games like that.
What was that, Byron?
But yeah, the Steelers were also missing George Pickens, their receiver. He didn't play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know if he'd have made that much big a difference.
He would have,
yeah,
but you got to be careful. You only have it's only one player though. I mean, if you're missing one player and you can't do that, that's not going to help you later. You know what I mean? They're still going to shock because they were looking good. But I'm telling you, I give the Eagles credit. They're playing good ball. I would like to see Barkley get another 100-yard game. But we'll go from there. So where I wanted to, so we covered everyone here. So I wanted to talk about the Falcons situations. Let's go here. Falcons to start Penix and versus Giants. Cousins is benched. Okay, Byron.
He hasn't forgotten how to play quarterback.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't forgotten how to negotiate because he's got his no trade clause. He's got them where he wants them. He's getting paid big dollars. He's got a no trade clause. He has to delight the trade. If they release him, they got to pay him. Pretty much, you know how we always talk about his contract. They're going to have to do a Russell Wilson on him. Like, they're going to have to pay his whole contract. He can go somewhere to take the league minimum. Someone will take him for the league minimum. He's definitely worth the league minimum, right? But we always talk about all the time, Kevin, that, you know, Kirk Cousins got the greatest agent of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's going to be closing on Brady's earnings, and he's only won one playoff game. And this is – remember, Byron, when they did the draft, why did they pick him? And then they picked up Cousins. Like, I didn't understand that move at all. And I think they did the deal with Cousins first and then made that pick.
They did. Yes,
they did. They did.
Okay. And I was what are you doing?
I'm bringing it up again. He's made $231 million in guaranteed money in his career.
Wow.
230
wow.
for one playoff win.
Hold on a second. I thought I was reading some today on Sportscast. For 14 games, I think he's making like $90 million or something like that.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, and they can't, if they trade him, they got to eat his salary.
Let's don't beat up on him too much because he is coming off an Achilles tendon, injury that he did have something, he had last year. And, maybe it has something to do with it. He's in his 30s at quarterback and, maybe something, but because he has plenty of weapons around. They got what was a kid? Pitts. They got Bijan Robinson. They got Drake London. They have talent around him, as far as offensively. But for some reason, they're saying that with him, he's a play action quarterback, and they're not doing play action stuff with him now. They're doing, they got him like in the pistol, and he just doesn't function the same, being, in that type of offense. So it is what it is. But yes, $231 million.
Before they signed him. They should have knew that before they signed him. You figure you're gonna pay that kind of money. You're gonna tailor that offense to him.
Well, they had to be thinking of something when they paid him that money and then made a first round pick on a quarterback.
Right.
I mean, what were you thinking there?
I don't know what.
No, but the Falcons were thinking makes no sense. Some other team like. The Falcons were thinking like Green Bay, have a quarterback on deck. And, like what Green Bay did, Green Bay had, Brett Favre, then they picked Aaron Rodgers, even though, Brett Favre wasn't toward the end. Then Aaron Rodgers, then they picked, Jordan Love, where he sat 2 or 3 years. And that's where I think that the Atlanta Falcons were thinking along that line that, you have to have, somebody because, Kurt is getting up there in age, Penix, probably was at the top of their draft board or whatever. But they had a plan, but, I didn't think they wanted the plan to be this fast.
Well, when I saw that, it was the first thing I was thinking about all our conversations. I mean, here's this guy now is going to get paid all that money, sit back, doesn't get an injury. He has total control of where they're going to send them. They either have to release him, right? And he can go and they have to pay him and he can do a Russell Wilson and take a league minimum. He's in the driver's seat. He's in total control of his career right now. So, I thought it was interesting. And then so we got Drew Lock starting against the backup quarterback for the Falcons. So let's see if this guy can do anything. So the game that I thought ended up being a lot closer because while I was watching it I was in Columbia watching it was the Detroit. Tell me about the Detroit game and the Bills, Byron. When I left, it was like 35-14. Then when I saw the score 48-42, I was like, my God, they made a run. And the Lions are really banged up, but they're still hanging in there. And the Bills were looking like unstoppable. I mean, Josh Allen had a great game. What do you think went wrong in that game? And then they came back.
Well, when they tried the onside kick, a little bit too early, Dan Campbell, him and that gambling ways, that he has. It doesn't help the fact that they got like 13 guys on defense are on IR or season ending. Like
they got
a ton of people hurt. They just had Montgomery, their number one back, hurt his knee. They don't know if he's going to be done for the season. And for them to be able to still, put those points up, but now they're at a point now where because the defense is so banged up, they can't stop anybody. They're going to have to score 30, 40 points a game, just to even get to where they want to be. They're going to have to score a ton of points because the defense just can't stop anybody. And it's crazy that they've had such a great season, and now it's like hanging on the thread because they can't stop anybody on defense.
Kevin, did you see that game?
I seen a little bit of it. I have a question. Montgomery's on injury reserve, right?
Yep.
Okay,
no,
so
they haven't put him on there yet.
He's out. I know he's out for this week.
I thought they said he was out for the season. They put him on IR.
Pretty sure.
No. What he did was he went and saw a couple other doctors where he doesn't have to have that season-ending surgery. So he's still kind of maybe I could come back in a couple of weeks, maybe, and that's where he is now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he is injury update. Yeah.
Yeah, but Detroit got a lot. Like you say, they have a lot
15
of injuries.
Players, man. I mean, it's up there.
That's going to catch up with them in the playoffs, of course. Yeah.
And Byron, what you were saying about putting up points, I mean, the problem is they got to put up points early because they were losing. Look, it was 21, right? So it was 35-14 at one point, and then they came and scored up to it was 35-14. I thought it was over at that point, right? Yeah. And then they made a run. They put up 21 points in the fourth quarter. So they put up 28 points in the second half, right? Look at Detroit. I mean, the Bills, they were pretty even, 14-7, 14-13. They were 0, 14-7, and 21. Sometimes it's just a little too late. Yeah, and then the stats were out crazy. I'm saying, okay, let me see how did Josh Allen did, because I knew Josh Allen was hot. Josh Allen ran for 2 touchdowns and threw for 2 touchdowns. Now, he's definitely making his case for MVP now, right? He threw for 362 yards. But look at Jared Goff threw 5 touchdowns and 594 yards. I mean, Jared Goff is putting up some serious numbers. Yeah. Other than that one game where he had 5 interceptions and they still won, he's making up for it in the other games. You can't hold him to that one game. But you can't score late. You know what I mean? It's too much too late or too little too late.
A little too late.
Yeah. So I thought it was closer. I was looking for it because those 2 games. Didn't we talk about it, Byron? You were saying that you were wondering why they didn't move one game to the late game because there were 2 big games. It was the Steelers, Eagles?
They're both good games at 4:00.
Exactly, and they didn't turn out to be so good. That's what was disappointing. I mean, I was really looking forward to a good game. Both of those games were. I think the game for the Lions was good at the end when they were making a run, but it was just it didn't have enough time. But again, Byron, what is the update? Are they going to get any of these players back? Like, are they going to be a force in the playoffs, or they're just going to not? These guys are just gone.
Done for the season. Most of them are done. Done. Like stick a fork in it. So they're going to have to score a whole lot of points every game to even have a chance. But they need to have home field advantage, because if everybody has to go through Detroit inside, they should be fine. If they got to go to Philadelphia or wherever else and have to play outside in January, it's going to be a problem.
We got to give the Bills credit, right? Because the Bills went in there and started handing it to them.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to go to. That's the point. You don't want to go to Buffalo. That's why the Eagle fans were hoping for this loss. So I'm just trying to see who's got who would have the playoff picture in the playoff picture, because now the Eagles and the Lions are even. So the Lions are number 1 seed, the Eagles are number 2, and the Vikings are number 5. I have 5.
They way up there, higher than we thought.
Who?
The Vikings.
Yeah. Well, they're 12-2 though. I mean, you're talking about you got all the teams in the NFC are 12-2. Then you got the AFC's, Kansas City's 13-1, Bills 11-3, Steelers 10-4, Texans 9-5. Right. And then look at the Bucs. Look at the Bucs. The Bucs are in the run. I mean, I didn't realize they were in the run because they were up and down. But Baker Mayfield seems to play on big games. And the Rams are going to be dangerous. Everyone's talking. What do you think about the Rams going in there? Because they say once that offense gets going, they're dangerous.
Yeah, they're pretty. With Nakua and Cooper Kupp, they're loaded on offense. It's just the defense. They're coming around. They got a bunch of young guys on defense after Aaron Donald retired on them, and they're going to be sneaky good if they get into the playoffs. That they can make a little noise.
Mm-hmm. Team do you think is the most dangerous team? That's a low-ranking team to coming into playoffs. Would you say the Rams? Oh, yeah, Kevin had to go. Hey, Kevin, take care. He just bolted.
Or the Packers.
You think the Packers are most dangerous?
Yep.
Yeah, I like the Packers. Yeah, the Packers are there. I think the Rams are dangerous because they could put up points. The 49ers even got on the bubble. Man, Dallas has got a shot. The 49ers. I don't think they're gonna make it, but
hey, what the Giants at? Oh, there you go. Oh
Giants are looking for draft. They're looking for draft day. Let's see what we got here. Mahomes. You see Mahomes' injury, his high ankle. Let me tell you, that's a tough dude. You talk about a guy who doesn't get injured. He's one of those guys.
He gets injured, and then they tape him back up and throw him back out there because he wants to play. He's just that guy. But a high ankle sprain, being able to do the things that he can do, might be a problem. If he's as hurt, as he says he is, well, as they say he is. So we'll see.
Well, remember, everyone was nervous in the Super Bowl when he got hurt, and he came right back in.
Yep, he hopped out on one leg, and then they did whatever they had to do, and he went back out there like he was brand new. I wonder what they did.
That guy is tough. So if the number 1 seed, you'd have to go through the Lions, but if the Eagles are number 2, they still hosting a couple playoff games, no?
Yeah. Yep.
And then you got the Chiefs and the Bills. Let's see what we got in the schedule. What are the games schedule? What's coming up? Well, tonight's a big game, right? Tonight's the Broncos and the Chargers, and the Broncos are ahead of the Chargers. Chargers, I can't believe, lost that game to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, me too. And I think Herbert got hurt a little bit. So he's a big cog in the wheel. With them. I want to see them slide in. Just for the fact that see what Harbaugh can do. If he gets a team into the playoffs.
Yeah, and so look at, we got a couple good games coming up this week. So you got tonight's game, Broncos Chargers is a good game. You got the Steelers and the Ravens. Steelers got to make a comeback, right? Because they can't lose 2 games in a row. That's going to be a tough game for them.
And
they're playing in Baltimore.
And they can't afford to lose one either.
Yeah, so Baltimore. That's going to be a good game, a division rival, plus the fact both teams need to win. The next big game is Eagles and Commanders. What do you think is going to happen there? You think the Eagles are going to handle the Commanders?
Uh, maybe. I think it's going to be closer to what people think it is. They're not that bad. The Commanders,
Closer than the last time, right?
Yes, it's not going to be a beatdown. I think it's going to be a lot closer, than people think it's going to be with the Commanders, and Eagles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking as well. I just didn't like the way the Commanders played against Saints. I think the Eagles are playing some good ball. I think they're making some errors. I think the turnovers, they got a touchdown. And then, again, with the locker room issue, it looks to be settled with what they did this weekend. I just think they passed a little bit more than they need to. Should have controlled the ball. I'm seeing what else is a good game. Nothing's good. Can you believe that? That's the only good game because the rest we got going on is the Texans and Chiefs. That's not that big of a game. Falcons and Giants, it really don't matter. Lions and Bears is another bad game, right? Cardinals and Panthers. Well, Cardinals should have that one. Rams and Jets. The Rams should have that one. Eagles and Commanders is a good game. Bengals and Browns don't really matter. Texas Titans and Colts doesn't matter. Vikings and Seahawks. Oh my God, there's really nothing else that's out there.
Well, the Vikings are trying to, they're still in the hunt as far as, getting the number 1 seed. So they got to keep winning, every week. They got to keep the pressure on them. Keep the pressure on them. So, who knows? Maybe they might hold the, home game at the Metrodome, whatever that stadium's called out there in Viking land.
Yeah. Well, I think that those are only 2 decent games that are coming up that we have here. Hold on.
What about the Jaguars or Raiders, man? Come on, man.
We're so big about that game. 49ers are at the Dolphins. Oh, man, I should go to that game. Is Purdy playing or is he in?
Yeah, he's in.
Let me go to that game.
You probably get a ticket for like $2, like with Giant Stadium. You get a ticket up there at Giant Stadium for $2.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that difficult. Actually, I wouldn't mind going to see that. I wouldn't mind because the 49ers. I mean, both teams got players that you want to watch, right? They got star players,
and both of them want to get in the playoffs. So they're going to do what they have to do.
Well, Dolphins they're not going to make the playoffs. The Niners got a shot at making the playoffs. But that's not a bad game. I didn't know it was coming up here. All right, I'm running out of gas a little bit, man. It's been up since 3:00 this morning, man.
A little tired.
I got in this morning. Yes. Oh, by the way, I had to go to Hooters in Columbia to watch the NFL game. Unfortunately, it was a tough job, but someone had to do it.
They got Hooters and
yeah. And I met Giant fans in there.
Wow.
I met Giant fans. There was Pittsburgh fans. I'm telling you, it was all the Americans were in there. It was a lot of the most English speaking place I was at in all of Columbia.
Did they admit that they were Giants fans, or they just had something on?
They admit they were Giants fans. They were true born Giant fans. They're like, Giants, huh?
You should have threw them out the restaurant, man.
I can't. I'm a Giant fan. I'm proud of it. There was some Steeler fans. There was Bills fans. There was not Bills fans. There was Lion fans. There was quite a few. Let me tell you, it was predominantly, I would say, out of the entire place, it was pretty packed. Maybe 65% were Americans and watch it because there was also a championship soccer game on.
Oh, I'm sure they had that on more screens.
No, they had that on the screen. It was a pain in the butt to try to get these games on. They had the games on, but it was not easy because that game, the soccer game, and the soccer game was on the volume. So the only thing you could hear was the soccer game.
Oh, of course, man. Come on, man. It's soccer.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty cool because in the hotel we were staying at, it's a rooftop bar. So we were by the pool, and they had another championship game the other day, and they had it on the TV, on the projection on the TV by the pool. And you know how you're doing the fireworks at the stadium? The stadium was within eye distance of where we were at. So you were watching the fireworks on TV, and you were able to see the fireworks blow up in the sky. It was actually pretty cool. I never saw simultaneous fireworks that you had the view of the stadium, and then you saw the smoke because Columbia has a lot of topography. There's a lot of hills and valleys, so whatever you could see really far. That was actually pretty cool.
Okay.
That was pretty cool. They're major soccer fans there.
The only thing we got going on in this area is the drones flying all over the place. New York,
Somebody
New
was telling me
Jersey.
about that. What's going on with that? I mentioned something about from Jersey. I go, what's going on with the drones? I go, what are you talking about? They're saying there's a whole drone. What's happening there? Give our listeners some like change. Since we can't talk about the Giants, let's give us some other insight.
They're just having a whole bunch of sightings over, drones over like military installations. They got one up north.
Really?
They have one, Earl in Monmouth County. Couple airports, the New York, that area up there, and they just flying. They don't, and allegedly they're saying some of them are as big as a small SUV. But for some reason,
That's
when
a big drone.
Yeah, when they try to get close to them, they turn the lights off and then they scurry away. They've sent helicopters up there. Now they're getting to a point where they want to shoot them down. Oh, it's crazy.
I was just gonna say that. They're gonna get to the point they're gonna shoot these things down, especially if they're that big. Because that's dangerous, right? You can put something in there.
Yeah, and we get a couple of nuclear plants, in Jersey, one in South Jersey, two in South Jersey. So they flew over top. Oh, it's crazy. And you really don't want to shoot them down over a populated area because, if it's up there, it's going to come down to somebody. So hopefully, if they shoot it down, it's over the water, somewhere. But yes, that's the big thing around here. It's the drones all over the place.
Mm-hmm. And let me see something real quick. And when does the college playoffs start this weekend?
Yeah, it's Saturday, yes.
College.
Don't forget our shout out to Travis Hunter, for winning every award there is to win.
Oh, really? So let's talk about the awards. We called it. He is the best player in football, no?
A lot of people are saying, like with the Heisman. The Heisman is supposed to be for the best football player in America. Not, has the most yardage, not has this or whatever. He played like 1,300 snaps or whatever he did, like 400 more than anybody else. And, he was an impact player on offense and defense. He won the Blitnikoff, for wide receiver. And the crazy thing is like the Thorpe or whatever, I think that's what you call it, for DBs and safety. He wasn't even nominated for that. How is that possible?
Oh my God! But he's up there for he's winning the Heisman, right? He won the Heisman.
Yeah, he won the Heisman. Yes,
okay,
I'm just saying the Thorpe for best defensive back in America. Yeah, you mean to tell me you don't have him? He wasn't nominated. He wasn't even the top 3, 5, or whatever. He wasn't even nominated for.
Do you think they didn't want to give him all the awards because he would have won them?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, because he won every wide receiver. Best defensive player, best player. He won like 5 or 6 awards.
How can he win best defensive player playing the position of defensive back and not win the Thorpe award?
Yeah, listen to what you just said. Mm-hmm. Listen to that. How is that possible?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying they don't win them awards. But then you're kind of like you're blatantly being stupid, right? Because you can't play defensive back and be the best defensive player in the country and not win the award for your position.
Listen to that. There you go, my man. There you go. How is that possible?
There's no sense to that one, right? I mean, I guess if you're the best defensive player, and you're playing defensive back, that means not only you're the best defensive player, you're the best defensive back.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. Well, congratulations, Travis Hunter. He's definitely a generational talent. He's going to make a difference.
Then the other thing
but he's got to go in. But the thing is, don't you think that he can't go in like a Tyson Hill? He's going to have to go in. It's like, no, I just want to play receiver. He's got to get receiver money.
Yeah, he's not, DB money. Nah, not yet. Wide receiver, he's going to want to play wide receiver, and every now and then, if you need him, put him on defense. But as far as playing full-time quarter.
But that's a question, though. Do you think it'll hurt him if he's trying to play both ways when he's trying to get receiver money? Will they treat it differently?
Yeah, me personally, I'm going to probably get blasted for this. The speed of the NFL is a lot different in college. I mean, you know it too. Mm-hmm. It's a lot different. He's not playing. He's not playing full-time, both sides of the ball in the NFL. He's going to pick one, and then every now and then they're going to use him somewhere else, and that's it. He's not going out there and play 160 snaps or whatever in the NFL. Not, I would be shocked.
He should play receiver. Then if I was there, I'd go for receiver.
Yeah,
that's
where the money.
But that's where the money is.
That's where the money is.
Exactly.
And then the other thing, they had an issue with something that his girlfriend did or whatever, and I don't even talk about. I've been battling people with that all day today, so I'm just they had an issue with her and some of the things that she said on social media. So leave that one alone.
Well, here's the college football playoff picture. You got Tennessee versus Ohio State. That's a good game right there, because I think Tennessee's a lot better than people think. You got Clemson versus Texas. Okay, that's a good game. Indiana's for with Notre Dame, which I really don't care about either one. But then the winner of that game has to face Georgia. I think Georgia's gonna be in there, in my opinion. They got to win 2 games to be in the national championship, and I think they got the easier path. Like, they don't have to play an SEC team.
I just don't want to see what we saw. Was it last year when Georgia and TCU, where it was like 69-2?
Yeah, but that was a 4-game playoff. This is the first year of the 12-game tour. 12.
You figure the SM. Yeah, I'm not down on like any of those programs like SMU and Boise State or whatever. But anything can happen on any day. All it is one game. All you have to do is beat somebody once, and it can happen. And then we'll have the same scenario where it's like, damn, are these two playing? Oh, my God. And
I think Georgia's going to run the table, and I don't think Oregon – do you think Oregon's going to be in the national championship?
Yes.
Really?
They're better than Georgia. Georgia's quarterback is out. Back.
Oh, really?
He's not playing. Yeah, he hurt his arm.
That's
so, and the
they
best
seem
quarterback
to be
left.
producing more quarterbacks.
The best quarterback left is Dillon, the kid from Oregon. Is probably the best quarterback still out there.
And you got Ewers, right, from Texas.
Yeah, he got hurt last game. He's probably put it this way. This is probably his last game at Texas. He's probably going to transfer someplace else to get $4 or $5 million. So Mr. Arch Manning can take over as quarterback next year.
I'm looking forward to the playoffs. It's the first year of the playoffs. I'm pretty excited about this. It's a lot more football, right? I like how I think I'm more excited for this. I mean, how about you? I'm more excited for this than I have been in a long time. Like, it's going to be the fun. Like, I'll watch all the football now because it's just these games. You know what I mean?
The other games you should watch are the Division One. I think North Dakota State against South Dakota State, or one of those games.
Yes.
Those are good games. Those guys, man, you never would expect those. Like the North Dakota State, they're pretty good. Like every year, or Montana State, or one of them teams up there in the middle of nowhere, are really good and play really good football. And like they figured out this a long time ago, as far as having the playoffs, to make sure that the best 2 are always, going to get to the championship game.
Right. All right. Well, I know it's a bit of a slow week. I'm gonna have more wind. Well, we're not on the air next week because Merry Christmas to you and your family, Byron.
You too, sir.
Merry Christmas to everybody else. I'll reach out to you for Christmas, and then I can't wait to go away, bro. I'm going away with the family for a few days. We're going up to Savannah, Georgia. I need a break, man. Look how tired I look. Like I can see it on the screen. I look terrible. I am exhausted. So I'm looking forward to. You have a great holiday with your family. You doing anything besides being in AC? You're gonna be around the family?
Nah, we'll be in our mother's house, so we'll be over there, eating and cooking and laughing at each other and making fun of each other.
Tell Vonda and the family I said hi, give hugs and kisses to the family. I like to see Detroit and the Wilson family go further. How's that jacket? Is Vonda sporting that Detroit Lion jacket?
No, Sonya has that. Sonya's the one with the jacket.
Okay.
I hope it burns her back up everything. I hope it burns her back up every time.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, she has all that giant. Yeah, she got a ton of giant.
You were saying I'm sorry. You were saying something. I kept cutting you off.
I hope when she puts it back on, I hope it starts burning. I hope it goes up to 100 degrees wearing that coat. Starts sweating.
That's so. They both of them have a lot of Giant stuff. So for her to go get Detroit stuff, that's bad.
Yeah, but
Giants, you got a loyal fan jumping ship.
Vonda didn't trade though. But Sonya just like She just went out to Detroit and everything. I was like, look at this.
She left the stadium.
She is gone.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Sportscast on all your channels. Don't forget if you like what you hear today. Today's a little slow. I apologize. My fault. Bring the energy and the heat next show. Smash the like button. Hear what's going on. We got some really good stuff. We got playoffs coming on. We're going to probably talk a little bit about college football. We are live every Thursday at 8 p.m. The Jersey Boys Sportscast, sponsored by Victor Arocho and Mr. Byron Jones. Mr. Byron, God bless you and your family. Merry Christmas to everybody. I love you, my brother, and we will talk soon. Peace.